Good morning, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. I am very happy to share my views with you on the importance of English language and about other aspects which we must possess to face the challenge of tomorrow. My dear friends, I now like to talk to you about skills. Basically, what is a skill? A skill is nothing but a defined ability which we possess because of our laborious industry. We possess skills, we learn things intentionally, we learn things voluntarily or involuntarily. In one word, in a nutshell, let me talk to you. In view of today's highly competitive world, the candidates or the aspirants basically must possess some skills. Let me talk to you about these skills. Hard skills, soft skills, general awareness, etc. What are hard skills? How do we acquire them? The students of various disciplines worldwide, by attending to various programs, by attending to various laboratory sessions for a particular period of time, by attending regular classes in connection with curriculum, and also by attending seminars, workshops, conferences, symposiums, etc. Suppose if a student of engineering who attends to college for a period of 4 years, during these 4 years of time, he or she learns many things by attending to the classes regularly during all these 4 years. A person who learns something during academic period, maybe engineering, medicine, pharmacy, law, agriculture, whatever it may be course. Here, let me talk to you. A student who acquires some skills by attending to college for a course are come under hard skills. We acquire hard skills by doing a course. Suppose a student of engineering acquires knowledge throughout his stay or her stay with the teachers for a period of 4 years on the premises. These are hard skills. Hard skills alone may not be adequate enough to get a good job in today's competitive environment. Maybe hard skills are prerequisite. Hard skills are prerequisite to apply for a job, but this must be accompanied by some other skills, namely soft skills. How do one acquires knowledge in soft skills? As far as soft skills are concerned, we acquire them not only attending by a session of our own. We can learn more about these soft skills. Some of the soft skills, let me talk to you. The first and foremost soft skill is listening skill. Why we talk about this listening skill in the very beginning? Because as it is opined by eminent scholars in the past, people could speak any language before they write it, because they listen to others. People could speak any language before they write it. Even small children at home, just by imitating their elders and parents at home, they utter some small sentences. Can they write them? No, they can't write the sentences which they utter, but they can utter. How it is possible? Just by imitating, by listening to their elders, by imitating their parents, they can speak some of the sentences. And let me remind you, I think you are familiar with this. One cannot become an effective communicator unless one is an effective listener. One cannot become an effective communicator unless one is an effective listener. So we must be listeners first. Topmost priority for listening. Even let me talk to you about the 4 major areas of English language learning. The 4 major areas of English language learning, LSRW, listening. One cannot become an effective communicator unless one is an effective listener. So we must be effective listeners. There may be hindrances, there may be barriers for effective listening. You must overcome. By overcoming all the barriers which you come across in listening, you must listen very attentively. You must listen to your lecturers. You must listen to your superiors. You must listen to your subordinates at workplace tomorrow. You must listen to your friends. You must listen to your parents. So, listening skill, it plays a vital, major and significant role in our lives. So, we must listen. Suppose my mother tongue is Telugu. Even the Tamil, which is being spoken by my neighboring state, Tamil Nadu, even I don't know the alphabet. Even I can't write 1 or 2 letters. But I can utter some sentences to convey some meaning to others. தண்ணி வேணுமா, தண்ணி வேண்டாம், சாப்பாடு ஆயிடுச்சா, என்ன கோலம், நீ எங்கே போயிட்டு வர. Like this, how can I utter these sentences in Tamil? Believe me, I don't know even one letter of the Tamil. Can you understand, my dear friends? So, as far as soft skills are concerned, topmost priority for listening skill, followed by communication skills. What is communication? The word communication has been derived from the Latin word communicare, which means to share. The English word communication, which we see today, has been derived from the Latin word communicare, which means to share. Sharing of our ideas, our views, our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings with others is communication. If you are an effective communicator, you will be considered wherever you go in this global village. No second opinion. No second opinion. Think about it seriously. My dear friends, my dear student friends and aspirants, if you are a good communicator in English language, you will be considered. You will be given an opportunity. Then you will be the happy man. Friends, let me talk to you. The process of communication, the channels of communication, types of communication. For the time being, we turn our blind eye to them. Understand? We don't want to neglect, we don't want to ignore. They also play a vital role, a significant role, a major role. Yes, undoubtedly. But for the time being, the process of communication, the channels of communication, the types of communication, we discuss later, depending upon the requirement. As far as this important task, communication is concerned, this communication broadly has been categorized into two areas. As far as communication skills are concerned, let me remind you, my dear friends, you must possess, you need to develop both the linguistic competence and the non-linguistic competence. Linguistic competence, non-linguistic competence. What is linguistic competence? Linguistic language. So to convey something, to communicate with others, you need vocabulary, you need words of any language, not only this global language, English language, this lingua franca. Even in your mother tongue also, in your native tongue also, you have to utter some words, some sentences. You must possess, you must be well versed as far as any vocabulary of that particular language is concerned. But as far as this lingua franca, this global language, this English language is concerned, At least you must know some vocabulary. You must be familiar with some of the words, maybe active vocabulary. I don't want to talk to you about passive vocabulary. What is a linguistic competence? You need a language, you need some words, you need some sentences to communicate something with others. My dear friends, but to make your communication, especially your oral communication, very effective, you must possess good knowledge in non-verbal communication. Linguistic competence, non-linguistic competence. Verbal communication, non-verbal communication. Verbal communication. Verbal communication is a communication which is transmitted with the use of words. Understand? Verbal communication is a communication which is transmitted with the use of words. But to enthrall others, to draw the attention of the listeners, to impress others with your oral communication, especially in formal situations, you must be strong enough, you must be wise enough to demonstrate, to display all the effective non-verbal clues and mannerisms besides verbal communication. I explained you. Verbal communication is a communication which is transmitted with the use of words, but non-verbal communication is also a communication, but it is transmitted without use of words. With these signs, you can communicate without use of words. Without using words, you can communicate. To ask somebody to come to you, non-verbal communication. Without use of words, please come here. Meaning has been conveyed, sense has been conveyed, but not effective. If this verbal communication, unless your effective non-verbal mannerisms, your body language, your actions are accompanied your non-verbal, your verbal communication, your communication may not be complete. So, my dear friends, understand the importance of both verbal and non-verbal communication. Actions speak louder than words. Your actions must match your words. Your words must match your actions. Please come here. Both the verbal and non-verbal communication. Your words and your actions. Okay? Suppose when you are pausing, just when you approach a particular place, if you feel some uneasiness, if there is a stinking smell, generally, abruptly, we say, "Gee, what a stinking smell! Oh, stinking smell." Our actions must match our words must match our, but we don't say, "Oh, stinking smell. Oh, stinking smell." No, stinking smell. Okay. So our actions match must match our words must match our actions. To describe about our chairman Damseti Srinivas Naidu in a sentence or two, you can say, in view of his philanthropic concern, our chairman, Dr. Damseti Srinivas Naidu, did a lot to the needy. Under the noble guidance of our secretary, Dr. D. Balasuresh Babu, the college has been flourishing like anything. Because of his constant effort, because of his sincere efforts, his noble guidance, he always asks us to enrich our knowledge in our respective area. So, soft skills, hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills, you acquire these hard skills by attending to a course. You acquire soft skills, listening skill, communication skill, leadership qualities, team building spirit, conflict resolution skill, etc. So, verbal communication and non-verbal, body language, in other words, body language. Let me talk to you about body language. Okay? Here, in connection with this importance of our non-verbal communication or body language, we now discuss about eye contact, facial expressions, posture, gestures, etc. You kindly pay attention and understand the importance of body language, the importance of nonverbal communication, which plays a major and significant role throughout our life. Thank you. Students, my dear friends, in this regard, let me explain you about the importance of nonverbal mannerisms or cues or the importance of body language in brief. Listen to me very attentively. You know, body language is undoubtedly an integral part of oral communication. No doubt, body language is an integral part of oral communication because body language matters always. This is true. Body language matters always. Friends, this non-verbal communication or body language, it includes eye contact, gestures and body movements, facial expressions, posture, space, time, mannerisms, etc. Let me tell you, of all these, eye contact, which plays a major role in your oral communication, especially during formal situations. Because even with the eyes, you can communicate without using other means and ways to others. Eye contact, it no doubt plays a major role in your communication. To make your oral communication very effective, you must be very careful. You must maintain a positive and good eye contact. Let me tell you, as we discussed earlier, as far as the linguistic competence is concerned, there you know how to spell a word, how to use a word in various contexts, how to pronounce the word exactly, that is exact pronunciation, followed by accent and intonation. In your oral communication, in the oral communication process, since we are the non-native speakers of this lingua franca, this global international language, we should learn how to pronounce the words exactly. Here we learn the accent also. You know, we generally don't utter all the syllables of a word exactly in the same manner. Some of the syllables are prominent, some are not prominent. So the prominent syllable is no doubt will be stressed. For example, suppose there is a word TODAY, today. Generally, the non-native speakers, many of the non-native speakers, they pronounce this word in the same manner, today. But here, the second syllable day is stressed. The first syllable is unstressed. So we utter the second syllable with greater breath force. We utter the second syllable loudly, today. But here you have to understand a simple logic. The same DAY we have in all the weekdays, Monday to Sunday. But when we utter these names of these weekdays, here the stress falls on the first syllable, not on the second syllable day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But whereas in the individual, if you take, for example, the word today, here the DAY, second syllable in the word, is stressed. So we utter this second syllable with greater breath force. But the same DAY from Monday to Sunday, it is unstressed. So we, as far as linguistic competence is concerned, we know how to spell a word, how to use a word, if it is written communication. If it is oral communication, how to spell a word, how to pronounce the word exactly, the exact pronunciation. Here we learn phonetics. You know phonetics. Phonetics is a branch of study which deals with pronunciation. Since there is no one-to-one correspondence in English language, we should know phonetics. What is one-to-one correspondence? There is no relationship between the letters of the alphabet and the sounds they represent. So we learn phonetics here. And as far as linguistic competence is concerned, we also learn intonation. So you are quite familiar with it. What is intonation? Intonation is nothing but the variation of pitch level in our tone. The variation of pitch level in tone. Okay, for the time being, we ignore this straight away. Let us go to the importance of non-verbal communication. As it was discussed several times by giving you numerous examples, we came to know many things about the major aspects of non-verbal communication. No doubt it includes eye contact, facial expressions, gestures and body movements, and posture. What is posture? The position of our body. The position of your body when you sit, when you stand, when you walk, when you move. That must be socially appropriate. The position of our body when you sit, when you stand, when you walk, especially during formal situations when you are standing in front of the vast and large audience, vast gathering. The position of your body should be socially appropriate, leaning towards the listeners, pulling back. They indicate many things. So, my dear friends, you maintain a socially appropriate posture. That is largely essential. Since we are going to discuss all these things in brief, now let me talk to you about gestures and body movements. Gestures and body movements, the movements of our hands, the movements of your arms, the use of hands and arms, nodding of your head, all these things should be very appropriate, should be very positive gestures. As it is said, face is the index of the mind, voice is the index of the soul. So, from posture to eye contact, posture, gestures, facial expressions, and eye contact, we should be very careful. We should be very positive. The positive eye contact, the positive gestures, the positive posture, the socially appropriate posture should be demonstrated and exhibited to impress the audience, to draw their attention, to show that you are confident, you are bold, you are very exact in utterances. Coming to the part of your facial expressions. When we talk to others, when we listen to others, we use our eyes, our eyebrows, our forehead to convey something, to express something, to receive something. So, both as a speaker and as a listener, you must express and demonstrate the socially appropriate facial expressions. In connection with this, let me insist on smile. You know, the smile, no doubt, a powerful weapon with which you can win this world, you can win the entire world. You can win the hearts of the fellow human beings. A smile, patience. Patience is the best remedy for every trouble. Above all, let me insist, smile. The real smile, as it is said, which begins not on the mouth and lips, but the real smile which begins in the eyes. Then it reaches to the mouth, face and lips and everything. So, smile at others. Look at others by smiling. Not only your eyes and your face and lips and mouth, but your heart that should smile. Your heart should smile. So, your positive and social appropriate facial expressions, the smile, should be demonstrated while speaking or listening. Now, since the eye contact, which plays a prominent and important role in both the communications, especially during formal situations, when you participate in group discussions, when you are addressing the vast gathering, when you are participating in a meeting, both as a speaker and as a listener, you should maintain eye contact very effectively to make the listeners enthralled and the listeners, they trust you if you can maintain a good eye contact, a positive eye contact. Some people, while they are listening or while they are speaking, they don't maintain eye contact properly and effectively. These people will be treated as miscreants, antisocial elements, thieves, etc. Suppose if you talk to the listeners while looking to the feet or to the floor or to the ceiling, it indicates that you are lying. They may suspect you. The audience or the listeners, they may think that you are lying. It gives negative signals. So maintain good eye contact, positive eye contact, with pleasing manners, with a smile always on the face, the right social appropriate posture to match the spoken words, the movements of your hands, the movements of arms. You continuously don't use fingers. Sometimes it may give negative signals to others. My dear students, friends, understand. So, maintain social appropriate posture, effective gestures, the movements of your body, the movements of your nodding of your head, the movements of your hands and arms, facial expressions. No doubt face is the index of the mind. Yes, your face with a smile should enthrall others, should enthrall your fellow human beings. So, you maintain above all good and positive or powerful eye contact. When you are talking to others, when you are addressing the vast gathering, try to maintain eye contact with all the people equally. You should not look at a particular person. It becomes a stare. He may be confused. And if you speak to the audience, large audience, by looking only at a particular person, the others may think that you are nervous, that you are shy, that you are timid. So, to avoid this confusion, to make your oral communication very effective, you should learn more about posture, gestures, facial expressions, above all the eye contact. Many people, while they are talking, while they are listening, they do not maintain eye contact. So then the listeners or others may suspect him or her. They mistrust. They don't trust in us. They don't trust us. So, my dear friends, you try to exhibit, try to demonstrate the effective non-verbal mannerisms, cues, or the social appropriate body language. In addition to, besides personality traits, if you really possess the effective non-verbal mannerisms, you will be accorded a red carpet welcome in the society. So, if time permits, in our next sessions, I shall try to reach you with more examples in detail. Before going to conclude, on behalf of my fellow human beings, I salute all the corona warriors. Pray to Mother Nature. Protect the environment, your surroundings. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Hind. Thank you.